Happy St. Patrick's Day. I was giving a lecture this morning in my women's history class where we were talking about the 19th century discovery of the clitoris. Obviously, people knew clitorises existed before a medical journal wrote about them in 1867, but we were talking about the way in which Victorian doctors, overwhelmingly male, responded to the rather alarming discovery that women had an organ for which there was no other purpose but pleasure. The clitoris wasn't about reproduction or about elimination. The clitoris existed only for women's pleasure, and it obviously had a tremendous amount of potential. We talked about the ways in which doctors responded to this. Some doctors advocating clitoridectomies, the surgical removal of the clitoris in order to make sure that women didn't masturbate and thus discover a kind of sexual self-sufficiency. Other doctors decided to take control of women's pleasure, and this is where we get the very famous stories about Victorian-era doctors developing the first vibrators in order to provide women with what they called hysterical paroxysms, another word for orgasms that would be given by the doctor in their offices. But the point I want to make today in this very brief video is that my students don't always know what a clitoris is. We don't cut off little girls' clitorises in this country anymore, but we perform a psychic clitoridectomy on our children, on our daughters in particular, when we teach them nothing about how their bodies work, and when they put their little hands between their legs when they're small children, we slap those hands away and say, "You're dirty." Justice work is about giving young people, boys and girls, accurate information about sex. Justice work is teaching them how their bodies function. Justice work is teaching young people that pleasure is a good. Pleasure is not selfish. Shame is selfish. The sense that our bodies are defective or bad, that parts of our bodies are dirty, that is what keeps us from really sharing with others as we should. So what I want to get across in this St. Patrick's Day message, the first of what may be many more of these little messages, if you guys like them, is that we need to commit ourselves to sharing a basic message about pleasure, about joy, and about good, solid sex education. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and if you're drinking, please don't drive. Until next time, I'm Hugo Schwyzer.